My name is Greg Bogosian, and I love everything about New England. Each week, I travel the region searching for adventure. And along the way, I visit the places and the people that make New England extraordinary. This is New England like you've never seen it before. This is New England Traveler. In New England, we really have the best of both worlds when it comes to places to relax and soak in the beauty of Mother Nature, the mountains, and the ocean. You really can't go wrong with either one. But if you're a fan of the beach and the salty air, then there is no place better than Cape Cod. And when it comes to taking in the scenery of this beautiful part of New England, you will definitely want to stick around.
If you know me, you know I love planes and trains, and that's why I am super excited to be here in Hyannis, Massachusetts at the Cape Cod Central Railroad for their 3-hour, 5-course dinner train ride. Now let's go inside and see if they have my ticket.
Greg,
Yes,
here's your ticket. Enjoy the ride.
thank you very much. I got it. All aboard! Welcome aboard. Thank you very much.
Like many young boys growing up, I had a train set, but Chris Pajerski takes owning a train set to a new level. Chris invited me on board to take in the sights of Cape Cod aboard the historic Cape Cod Central Railroad.
All right, so Chris Pajerski, thank you very much for inviting me on the Cape Cod Central Railroad. Very welcome. I'd like to toast you and the railroad. Cheers. Really, what made you buy a train, and what was that process like? What's that decision making like for someone buying a railroad?
I had loved trains, all my life, and my background is in heavy construction, underground utilities, and that kind of thing. I had spent some time on the Cape, saw the various railroads that were operating down here, and I just started asking a lot of questions. One day I got a call from a broker that was representing the folks that had owned the Cape Cod Central Railroad at the time. It was for sale. After thinking about it for a couple of days, eventually we made an arrangement and purchased what was the Cape Cod Central Railroad at the time. It's evolved quite a bit since then. We've made a lot of improvements, a lot of different equipment.
It's not like we're on this little tiny train. We're not riding around someone's backyard. We're on an actual, almost a commuter rail style train in a classic dinner car, which is really nice. Describe what we're going to see along the way from beginning to end and back again, the marshes, the cranberry bogs, and things like that.
The Great Salt Marsh is what we saw. It actually appears about 4 different times along the railroad track. It's quite a big nature reserve, the biggest salt marsh on the East Coast. There's many cranberry bogs. Most of them are being farmed. There's a few of them that have been let go.
The cranberry is a Native American wetland fruit that grows on a trailing vine much like a strawberry. In Massachusetts, the place where cranberries grow is called a bog. And in the southeastern part of the state where we are now, there are more than 14,000 acres of bogs, which make up the workplaces of nearly 400 cranberry growing families. So next time you sit down to enjoy a nice Thanksgiving dinner, go ahead, ask for another helping of cranberry sauce. They'll grow more.
How many people are on this train at any given time for dinner?
We can host up to 240 people. Typically, with railroad seating, we'll end up with a max out at 190, 195, 200 people. Tonight, we're running at about 120 people.
That's like a high-class, huge restaurant in the city, but it's on wheels.
Oh, this is it. This is a restaurant on rails and wheels, absolutely, and it's moving by.
But what are some of the challenges, of a scenic train? You got to feed people. You got to, have.
Well, I think there's a variety of different challenges. I mean, obviously there's the mechanical issues of the train and making sure that the air conditioning is running and everybody's happy with that. The wait staff here, they do a fabulous job. Most of them have been on the train for a number of years. Serving food and wine on a moving train is a challenge. You'll see in the kitchen that they have done it for a while. They're good at balancing things and they're good at making sure that things don't move around too much and have a mess on the floor. It's a challenge, but they seem to prevail. Well, everything's freshly prepared on the train, first of all. There's 5 courses. You have a crouton tire on the table. You'll have a chowder. You'll have a salad. What your entree was that you picked. Like I said, they do a fabulous job. Now, the dessert, he's baking everything himself. He's a French pastry chef of sorts, so it's coming out really nice.
All right, Chris, I got to ask. Can I drive the train?
No. I'll see what I can do.
All right, before we do that, you want to show me around this place?
Sure, let's take a walk.
Cheers. Chris has promised me that I'm going to be able to drive the train. There's an engine on either side, so let's see what he has in mind.
There is a lot more of this historic train ride ahead, so let's see if we can keep this episode on track. The best part of doing my show is getting to experience things behind the scenes. And while it's not always possible to do things like drive a train, Chris did arrange a visit to the cab.
So here we are. We are at the head end of the FL9 in the engine. We're coming up on the Cape Cod Canal lift bridge.
Well, I love to do things on my show that I've never done before, and I can honestly say I've never been in the engine of a train, in the cockpit of a train.
Engine.
The engine. Okay.
Cab.
Cab. You can't call it cockpit?
Cab, not a
Only
cockpit.
plane? But I've never been in the cab of a train. With this POV right here out the window, I mean, the windshield, this is amazing. You know?
Yeah. And we're only going along at 25, 30 miles an hour.
Right.
If you could picture being in this engine at 85, 90 miles an hour going along the Poughkeepsie River in New York, that's what its previous life was.
Really? Yeah. So this train, what's the top speed of this engine?
I think they were good for 110. If the train's rocking too much, we're going to end up spilling wine and chowder. We don't want to do that.
We do not want to spill wine or chowder.
In the United States, the development of railroads was one of the most important phenomena of the Industrial Revolution. And one of the first railroads in the United States was right here in New England. On October 7, 1826, the Granite Railway was opened to carry granite from Quincy, Massachusetts to the Neponset River in Milton. From there, boats took over and carried heavy granite stone to Charlestown for the construction of the Bunker Hill Monument. There is so much involved in operating a scenic railroad excursion in order to keep passengers safe and comfortable. Chris Pajerski and his crew do an amazing job serving dinner and drinks to hundreds of passengers daily on a moving train. Now, before I head back to the dining car for a 5-course dinner, I think I'll head to the bar car to try out a couple of the railroad's classic cocktails.
Hi, my name's Sean Jablecki, bartender on the Cape Cod Central Railroad, and today we're going to be making our New Haven Ginger. So our New Haven Ginger starts off very simple, just Canada Dry, Jameson, and then our cranberry juice. There you go, the
right.
New Haven Ginger.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Sean. The New Haven Ginger, ladies and gentlemen. Has a nice ginger bite to it. That's good. That's good, man. Cheers.
Thank you.
Excellent. Nice summer cocktail on the Cape Cod Central Railroad. Can't go wrong with that. If you like ginger, that's pretty good. I gotta keep on drinking it.
One of our favorite, most requested cocktails here at Cape Cod Central Railroad is our Old Fashioned. Starts off with muddling a cherry mixed in with our sugar. You add ice to the glass, go with Johnny Walker Black Label, some of our aromatic bitters, and top it off with orange slice. And this is the Old Fashioned.
All right, just called an old fashioned, right? That's it? You're not
That's
calling it
it.
anything special?
Nope, that's it.
Thank you, Sean.
Yep.
All right, well, I like a good old fashioned, and this is definitely a good old fashioned. That's why I'm changing the name of it to the Rail Car Old Fashioned. Excellent. You get the taste of the cherry in there. The sugar really makes it. And this is like a nice after dinner, towards the end of the train ride. You come up to the bar, you get yourself an old fashioned, you sit down in the club chair, and you just look at the scenery as the sun sets off in the distance over the marshes and the cranberry bogs. It's quite an experience with a classic cocktail. A couple more of those, please.
All right, the only thing better than 2 drinks on a New England summertime train ride is 3 drinks on a New England summertime train ride. Am I right? Let's find out.
Today we are going to be making our famous conductor's punch. Starts off with Captain Morgan, pineapple, and then orange juice, cranberry juice, and then it has a Myers rum floater. The conductor's punch.
The conductor's punch. All right, let's try this bad boy out. Now that Sean has gone to all the trouble of making it, I'm going to go to all the trouble of drinking it. You gotta like rum. You gotta like juicy, fruity drinks and nice fruity cocktails. If you do, Conductor's Punch. It's like the train version of a Mai Tai. That's what it is to me. Anyway, I don't know, that's just my opinion, but take it for what it's worth. Conductor's Punch. I'm gonna call it the Conductor's Mai Tai. And wash it down with some wine, which is the Rhode Island Red. Oop. Oh, look what I did. That wasn't me, that was the turbulence.
Chris Pajerski's Cape Cod Central Railroad takes you on a scenic adventure through beautiful Cape Cod, past marshes, cranberry bogs, dunes, and many other places only accessible by rail. And you can choose your own unique experience: a Sunday brunch, a weekday luncheon, or even a 2.5-hour jazz brunch train complete with a jazz ensemble. Of course, for my adventure, I chose what any hungry traveler would: the 5-course dinner train.
Hi, I'm Pete Bilodeau, the executive chef of the Cape Cod Central Railroad. Tonight we are serving an herb-encrusted roasted tenderloin, topped with a mushroom demi-sauce, roasted asparagus, and roasted potatoes.
Our server so perfectly referred to this as cooked to perfection. For me it is, because I love my red meat cooked rare. You can't cook the flavor out of steak as far as I'm concerned. You have to let the flavor come out. And in my opinion, that's really the only way to experience it. So, Chateaubriand. Very good. The asparagus and the roasted potatoes, like the other dishes they serve here. Wow, that is excellent. I don't want to stop. Wash it down with some wine, which is the Rhode Island Red, local New England vineyard.
A few years ago, I had gone down to Caroline's Seconda Vineyards and just done a wine tasting and all that, and I had liked several of the wines myself, and thought it'd be neat to partner with a local winery. So we've run wine tasting trains with them a couple times a year for about 5 years. I happen to like the Rhode Island Red. It's a favorite of mine.
It's very good. All right, let's check out a little salmon Toscana.
It's a salmon Toscana with the spinach, Parmesan cream sauce, marinated roasted tomato, asparagus, blanched asparagus, and roasted potatoes.
Wow,
Bon appetit.
thank you very much. Wow, that's whew, look at that. That's pretty cool looking right there. Salmon Toscana. All right, let's check out the salmon Toscana. Okay, I'll say this. The food on the Cape Cod Central Railroad is amazing. The salmon Toscana is some of the best salmon I've had. And what makes it taste even better is the view. If you look out the window, these panoramic windows, from front of the car to back of the car and back again, it just makes food taste so much better. So I highly encourage you to come down here to the dinner train in Cape Cod, Hyannis, and get the full experience. Look at this. Tomatoes on top.
Now, being that I'm Armenian, after a nice tenderloin and salmon Toscana chaser, I may order a plate of lamb kebabs, but I will be just as happy with a nice dessert.
Okay, and for dessert we have the raspberry tart with a fresh strawberry compote and a cream cheese frosting right on top.
Actually, thank you very much. Excellent. Thank you, sir. All right. There's no better way to wrap up a train excursion than a delectable dessert, like the raspberry tart, which I am about to sample right now for your pleasure and for mine. You gotta get the strawberry in there. I am so finishing this dessert. And I'll tell you something. I mean, I don't really eat dessert a lot. I'm not a dessert guy. I would rather have another another entree, another piece of sushi, another steak, honestly. But I like a light dessert. This is light. It has the raspberry, the cream cheese frosting, and the light crust. So for a summertime train ride, or any time of the year really, but for a summertime train ride like we're on now, the Cape Cod Central Railroad, it's a nice light dessert. Really light, fluffy, airy. And sweet. So Chris, this seems like a family business. You have your daughters and your son with you today, which is awesome. I was wondering, I can't help but wonder, is this something that you hope to, hand off to them someday? Are they like being bred to run the business?
Interestingly enough, Jake loves the operation of the railroad. He loves the hands-on look. He's capable of running a locomotive, and we all work on the Polar Express. It's a kind of a special time, obviously, for that month that we're crazy, and a lot of trains that we're running. We keep a lot of people happy, so they all the kids work on that train, and yeah, I would really like if they had take it over.
Chris came through. He's a man of his word. He's letting me drive the train. I am now at the controls of the FL9 diesel engine. Of course, this proves it right here. That was me.
The Cape Cod Central Railroad is a unique experience suitable for the whole family. When I was in town filming, my family made the drive down to the Cape to join me, and we found a great place to stay at the Cape Cod Resort and Spa. This one-stop resort has it all, including a pool and even an indoor water park complete with a lazy river, wave pool, and several water slides to keep kids of all ages entertained for hours. Less than a mile away, you will find Main Street Hyannis, a beautiful, classic New England shopping village.
Downtown Hyannis on Cape Cod has an incredible amount of places to shop and explore, and of course, places to eat. And it's summertime. Of course, it's hot, so you know where I'm going next to get an ice cream at Kilwin's. All right, and now to sample the beautiful raspberry sorbet from Kilwin's. I think this tastes better because it's summertime and I'm on Cape Cod. That is some good raspberry sorbet. Look at that.
When you plan your own Cape Cod trip, you will surely want to visit Hyannis. And for dinner on the water, do what my family did and head over to Tugboats in West Yarmouth. With incredible dishes and seascape-inspired cocktails, Tugboats overlooks all of Hyannis Harbor, providing a dramatic backdrop for your dinner. Now it's time to get back to what I came to the Cape for, the train, and my friend Chris Pajerski.
So Greg, what we have here is the what we call the Cape Codder. It was formerly one of 7 sister cars. It rode on the rear of the City of New Orleans train, the Arlo Guthrie famous song, and it traveled between Chicago and obviously New Orleans on a nightly basis, and it rode on the back of the train, and it's featured. It's in real good shape. It has a leather-wrapped bar, and we serve it as a platinum class.
I love historic things like this. Historic trains are really my thing. I love this stuff. Riding the rails. Can't beat it.
This is my favorite car.
Excellent. Well, it's quickly becoming my favorite car too. And there are a lot of cars. You got a lot of cars here.
We do. We do have a lot of cars.
Awesome.
And they've all got their own little isms.
Excellent. You gonna join me at the bar or what?
Absolutely. Let's go.
After you. Thank you, Sean.
Sean.
The old-fashioned. Cheers.
Cheers.
That's pretty good. Good cocktail.
Absolutely.
Shall we continue?
Absolutely. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Well, Chris Pajerski, thank you so much for inviting me to the Cape Cod Central Railroad today. It's really been an amazing experience. Do you have any final thoughts before we pull into the station?
Well, myself and my team are very happy to have hosted you tonight, and just sit back, relax. Just pretend that we're going along the Mississippi River right now. We had just left Chicago. We're not going to be till New Orleans till tomorrow morning around 10 o'clock. Just had our dinner. We're having an after-dinner drink, and gonna relax.
Relaxation is the key on the Cape Cod Central Railroad. So Chris, thank you for inviting me. Cheers.
Absolutely.
Now, before the train pulled into the station, Chris had one more surprise for me.
Nice. All right, I might do the horn. All right, Chris came through. He's a man of his word. He's letting me drive the train. I am now at the controls of the FL9 diesel engine. Of course, this proves it right here. That was me. That was me doing that, right? Nobody else. And all right, and apparently we are going backwards. So I don't think I'm really driving the train. So you know what? Ah!
Okay, my closing notes on Cape Cod. First, Cape Cod Central Railroad is a historic adventure that feeds you well with their 3-hour, 5-course dinner experience. Second, Cape Cod Resort and Spa checks all the boxes for a fun New England family vacation. Great food, comfortable rooms, pool, jacuzzi, and even a water park with a lazy river and wave pool. Finally, the town of Hyannis is quintessential New England with a Main Street USA feel. Shopping, dining, food, and ice cream. What more could you want on your own New England travels? I hope you enjoyed this trip to the Cape and the Cape Cod Central Railroad. I'm Greg Bogosian. I'll see you next time on New England Traveler.